She hid her past for 7 years, until an F-22 pilot said, "Ma'am. Is that you, Night Fury?" For 7 long years, Mia Hart had buried her past so deep that even she sometimes wondered if it had ever truly existed. By day, she worked as a humble aviation engineer in a small, unassuming airfield on the outskirts of Nevada. Her colleagues knew her as a quiet, meticulous woman, someone who preferred machines to people and precision to chaos. But beneath her calm exterior, memories of a life filled with adrenaline, danger, and the roar of jet engines lingered like shadows refusing to fade. Mia had been known in the military world as Night Fury, a call sign whispered with a mix of awe and fear. She was a top F-22 Raptor pilot, celebrated for her near-superhuman reflexes, daring maneuvers, and a series of missions that seemed impossible to survive. But fame was never her goal, and recognition was never her desire. One mission, however, had changed everything. It was a classified operation over hostile skies, one that ended in a tragedy that haunted her every night. The mission's success had saved countless lives, but at a cost so personal, so devastating, that she had chosen to vanish from the military world entirely. She erased her digital footprint, left behind her call sign, and adopted a new life, an ordinary life where no one knew her past, and she could finally breathe without fear of memories ambushing her. Years passed. She repaired aircrafts with silent precision, kept her head down, and never let anyone get too close. The hum of jet engines became her lullaby, the smell of aviation fuel her only comfort. Yet, even in solitude, there was a constant tension, a reminder that the world she had left behind could find her at any moment. It was a crisp December morning when her world tilted back toward chaos. The airfield was busy, jets lined up in formation for routine exercises. Mia was inspecting a newly upgraded F-22 when a young pilot approached, his helmet under his arm and eyes scanning the sky. "Morning, ma'am," he said politely. There was something familiar in his posture, a confidence in the way he walked, the kind she had seen countless times in flight squads. Mia nodded. "Morning. Everything ready for the drills?" He smiled, but hesitation flickered in his eyes. "Actually, I wasn't sure if I should say this, but, are you?" He paused, words failing him as his gaze locked onto hers. "Ma'am, is that you? Night Fury?" Time froze. Her hand gripping the jet's fuselage tightened until her knuckles whitened. She froze, 1,000 memories flashing in a heartbeat: enemy skies, burning engines, the roar of supersonic flight, and the screams of comrades she couldn't save. "How did he know? I think you have the wrong person," she said, her voice trembling, though she fought to keep it calm. He shook his head, stepping closer. "No, it's you. I've seen your missions, your maneuvers. I've trained under your legacy. Night Fury." His eyes searched hers, pleading for acknowledgement, for a connection he didn't understand. Mia's chest tightened. She had spent years running from this very moment, from recognition, from the heroism that had once defined her. Yet here it was, pulling her past into the present, refusing to be ignored. "I'm retired," she whispered finally, her voice barely audible over the hum of the jets. I don't do that life anymore." "I know," he said softly, almost reverently. "But some things can't just disappear. Not the way you flew, the way you led, the way you saved everyone. You were a legend, and legends, they inspire people. They don't just vanish." Mia wanted to turn away, to hide, to bury herself in the familiar comfort of anonymity. But something in his eyes stirred something she hadn't felt in years, a spark of purpose, a reminder of why she had flown in the first place. He continued, unaware of the storm he had unleashed. "I wanted to meet you. I wanted to see the person behind the call sign. Because I think the world still needs Night Fury. Even if she's hiding." For the first time in 7 years, Mia allowed herself to breathe. To acknowledge the past she had tried so desperately to forget. The memories of missions, of camaraderie, of adrenaline-fueled flights, no longer felt like chains, they felt like wings she had clipped herself, you don't understand, she said, voice steadier now. I can't go back. I can't face that world, not after what happened. He nodded, his expression solemn but unwavering. I do understand. More than you think. But maybe you don't have to face it alone. Silence settled between them, heavy but not suffocating. Outside, the wind swept across the airfield, rustling the wings of jets, carrying with it the scent of possibility. For 7 years, Mia had hidden in plain sight, but she realized now that hiding had been a form of running. And running only kept the past alive in secret. She looked at him, really looked. He wasn't just a young pilot seeking admiration. He was a mirror of the passion she had once felt, of the thrill, the responsibility, the fear, and the joy of flight. And maybe, just maybe, she could embrace it again, not as Night Fury the legend, but as Mia Hart, a woman who had survived, who had learned, who had endured. I don't know if I can, she admitted, her voice barely above a whisper. But maybe I can try. A small smile broke across his face, bright and hopeful. That's all anyone can ask for. In that moment, standing amidst the roar of jets and the whisper of the wind, Mia felt something shift. The past, once a cage, became a compass. The name Night Fury was no longer a burden, it was a reminder of courage, resilience, and the power of embracing one's true self. 7 years of silence, of running, of hiding, had ended in a single moment. And for the first time in what felt like an eternity, Mia Hart felt the stirrings of freedom, not just from her past, but toward her future. She took a deep breath, squared her shoulders, and looked toward the sky. Somewhere above, the clouds awaited. And so did she, because legends never truly disappear, they only wait for the right moment to soar again.